Truly honored to be here with you. Montenegro always astonished me with its first things. 2 years ago, I was here for the first hackathon, which you organized as a central bank. Today and yesterday, we were here for your first Financial Markets International Conference. And I believe it's the first panel moderated by two people, which is you. So I'm very honored to be here and very happy to share our small experience. My colleagues mentioned a lot of benefits for the SEPA accession, its interlinkage with the capital markets, its importance to your internal market, but also your connection with the regional and the European market. But it's important to notice that if you have heard for the Western Balkan countries that are working together in terms of telecommunication, for example, you might have heard roaming like at home. You can think of SEPA like paying like at home. So these frictionless transactions might benefit to each of our countries, but also make us much more closer to the European Union, which we aspire as much. Albania is a small country, but like many of its neighbors, it's working towards its accession path to the European Union. We have seen lately a lot of work in the payments area, mainly for the SEPA accession, but for the financial inclusion purposes. It's important to notice that capital markets, payment systems, growth, economic development, they cannot go forward on an, let's say, informal or cash economy. Our economies need to develop to be at the level important for such accession. Albania has recently approved the law which transposes the PSD2 directive, which you already have Montenegro approved and entered into force. So it's a central bank's duty, but also other players in the market, private or public, to make sure that these criteria are met, that these criteria are implemented and they are up and running. So you can, let's say, expose to those international partners that you are importantly linked with these important markets of the European Union. In our case, for example, open banking should be up and operational on January 2024. A lot of push has been from the commercial banks because they see it as a competition, meaning that they will expose and won't be anymore the monopoly of our data, our accounts, but new entrants in the market can bring competition, costs lower, and much more, less time to transact. And it's the opposite for the SEPA accession. Banks are not so pushy to, let's say, postpone such directives because they see it as an opportunity. SEPA accession is contributing to their fees remaining in the country. Let's pretend that, for example, you access SEPA and you always make sure that transactions for import-export purposes, for remittances, and for also tourism, which Montenegro, Albania, and other countries are booming in these latest years, are done with much more lesser fees. It's important that this money or these savings remain in the country and are used for other purposes or other growth development. In our case, for example, we saved up to 10 million on the first year of running of payment systems which settles euro. Albania is a highly euroized economy despite its local currency. A lot of transactions are done in euros, so a lot of them were done in cash. So people for the branches doing transactions within 10 meters, they would take out cash from the bank because the fee was very high and put it to the other bank next 10 meters away. So we saved to the economy like 10 million euros only on the first year of operation, which means 10 million euros into fees that were going through the correspondent model. It's the same idea for the SEPA. I mean, we use correspondent banking model, and a lot of fees, a lot of money stays outside your small country, your small economy. You can save up at least 10 million euros. In that perspective, I would just like to reemphasize what our previous colleagues told about the importance of cooperation and the importance of the government level tone. Tone at the top is important. If it's in the agenda of your governments, our governments, that such accession to such a huge market is important. If they know the value, they will put their pressure and their energy on that. The last 2 days, Ms. Zorica mentioned the Berlin Summit held in Tirana. Payments, cashless payments, frictionless payments, and SEPA accession were one of the pillars of importance of the economic leaders of the Europe. So that means that the tone is at the top. It's important momentum to be used and to be taken so we can advance as much as we can, and our efforts need to be pertained as important.